Alright, Hero Clocks here. I got some nice tasteful work. And art. Very cute YouTube character. All I ask is, yeah. Oh my gosh, she's cute. Yeah, thank you, ladies. But whoa. Okay, you want to hear? Yeah. With the dudes. Whose junk sticks are the size of arms. Let's get on here. Continue on with more transgender hate mail, homosexual hate mail, atheist hate mail, forums. Atheist hate mail, basically me reacting to a bunch of screencasts on YouTube and DeviantArt. There are responsive comments. I mean, against these deviant lifestyles and a few other things. Trigger warning. If you don't like what I'm saying, go ahead, click off the video. Don't lie and say the hate speech in my videos because there is no hate speech in my videos. Speech hate, that's the story. Let's continue on with people getting things wrong with these comment sections and me trying to change my Bible versus biology. We have now someone getting things wrong with Bible verses, so I'll try to straighten them out. And the girl says, I am literally, here go cars. I am literally Elijah, Malachi, 4, 5, and 6. No, you're not. Any discrepancies are decided by me. No, they're not. Now you just chose to die with the wicked through lies. I was told. Please repent before it's too late for you. I did my job to warn you. It's your choice. I say you're so confused. See, the ones you call wicked are actually righteous. The ones you call righteous are actually wicked. And those are actually forbidden in the Bible. They are. So, and then someone says, okay, well you have fun with that. That seems like the most prestigious and awful way to live. Only see everything through the lens of your beliefs. Yeah, you do the same thing. Someone else. Yeah, this is a different person. As regarding everyone else's ideals and practices, because your scribbles are right and theirs isn't. Because they are. The only difference between you and the person that never believes is that you were claiming which is wrong. A matter of upbringing. It's a matter of truth and lies. A matter of chance. No, a matter of fact and not fact. I like to think that every unfortunate soul in the world that has had a hard or warped upbringing is simply being condemned for their past actions from a previous life, so to speak. They're not. But that's ridiculous. Life doesn't work the way. It would be too cruel to think this way in the event that there really are nothing out there really is nothing after death, and to look down on people who aren't dealt the same cards. And also your channel is a perfect example of how bad their opinion is. It's dead. That's most subscribers has ever had in its life. It's dead. It's alive. It's good. Hey, some more open minded. Be more open minded. It will grow through lies. Nope. Good. I say it's not dead. It's small. Maybe not growing as fast as a channel that licks everyone's boots, but it is growing. It is. Over 300 subscribers. This was a lot of trans people who are confused. There are a lot of people who aren't trans or not trans who are confused. What would you do if someone called being a Christian a lifestyle? I agree with them because it is. You know that it isn't. It is a lifestyle. But you can't prove that. Yes, I can. It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. So it doesn't work. Next. Doesn't work if you say it's not a lifestyle. It doesn't work if saying the transgender lifestyle is not a lifestyle either. It doesn't work. You know here. You know that being a Christian is about being in a relationship with Jesus, yes, and patterning your life after what he says is right or wrong. But someone might look at you and say, being a Christian is about doing this and not doing that. It is. Nothing you would say to them would change their minds. Yes, that's true. That has been a thing. That's how someone who's trans, so like you're saying, they're just living a lifestyle that they are. So that doesn't work. The subject can be discussed intelligently through lies, beyond the sensational crap that makes all the headlines, beyond the Matt Walsh caricature. Most people on both sides aren't up to it. Please, yes, clean your room, young man. Smiley face. I'm like, yeah. Because that was before I got a bed. I was in the house before I got a bed. I had my bedroll and I was sitting on my covers and things. So, yeah, that was a different story. You can see those in the shot. So, yeah, that's how it worked. That's what it says. I respect and understand your opinion. However, I believe that people should keep the same energy and smile. And the same people who successfully overturned Roe v. Wade decided to successfully overturn Loving versus Virginia over Obergefell versus Hodges or civil rights that assure the protection of women and other vast minorities like they're trying to do right now, and tell me they're actually pro-life. It's not the same stuff. In other words, how would you feel if your rights were stripped away tomorrow? It wasn't a right. Abortion is never a right. It's a service that costs money. If it's a right, it would not cost money. So no, it was a service. And people are like, yeah, but no, we want it to be a right because if it's seen as a right, then they will be like, yeah, you can't stop this. Yeah, but it's not a right. Seeing a cute nerdy girl being plowed. And then you see an angel say, "You melon farmers need Jesus." I don't cause I agree with that word. And I say, "I thank Jesus for the." I can't say who that is. I thank Jesus for such cute girls to plow. You. Such cute girls to plow. Yeah, there's comments in there that are just wrong. It's like, oh yeah, I enjoyed this abusive thing that happened to me, a horrible abusive thing that happened to me in my life. I'm like, yeah, that's not something you're supposed to print. That's all right. Continue on, please. People keep saying, persons keep hating on that abortion, that Roe v. Wade was overturned. So the person says, people keep saying that abortions have a lot of dangerous risks. They do. So shouldn't be doing them. So do guns without reform laws. Yet they're not worried about the dangerous risk of that. Because they were trying to compare guns to people. That's what he said. Everything in this world has its risks, pros and cons. Not just abortions. God told us that those who have been with sin do not have the right to cast stones upon others, but abortion is wrong. Is a bad thing. So do that. Yeah, there you go. No matter how great or small the sin is, a sinner is a sinner. Who am I to dictate their lives? Like I created them or something. If you're fighting against sin, you got to tell people about how awesome God is and all that stuff. What the Bible says about it. So it's going to have basically ruffle some feathers there. Many people believe that women are responsible for their own babies. The government is also responsible. Kind of. Not really. Women is more than government. Well, the government fails to support the women or family, they be quick to blame the parents, even though they force the woman and child. The child to be in that position. When in reality, the government cannot handle self-responsibility for their own peoples themselves. The most ironic part of this, is that these people who run the government and claim to be pro-life will only see abortions for their young innocent children or mistresses needed. Sometimes that happens. Yes, that's stupid too. That's bad too. I don't know about you, but that's not pro-life. No, it isn't. That's just pro-power, pro-control. So they say others. Well, something happens to them, they're all of a sudden executed. That's wrong. Now, a woman gets an abortion for whatever reason, apart from medical abortion, she must be executed or greatly prosecuted. Will they overturn Roe versus Simmons? Just in case a child decides to get an abortion? Will they wait till their 18th birthday? For them, only rule in one valid reason to abort only provides they believe that there should be decided whether women should abort, despite their saying I'm supposedly going against abortion. That's completely fair. That's completely fair and non-sexist. It sucks. That's so sad. If they're unwilling to love thy neighbor, even if they are had an abortion, they're not of God at the moment. They always assume that the woman is getting an abortion because they do not want to take responsibility. That happens. You have to remember that multiple people who have had this sexually abused still choose to give life to their baby freely and without force. The key word is choice. That is what pro-choice is actually about, and also not the right to choose. Abortions are already not needed choice, but they shouldn't be a choice at all. That is why they need to help to heal. They're not about this. They are not about killing babies for the sake of birth control. A lot of times they are, or after getting to protection. A lot of times they are. Then that is someone who wants to avoid responsibility, and those people are pro-abortionists. Pro-choice. Also, people who are pro-life are pro-choice too, but they're only for the pro-choice when it comes beneficial to them. According to lies you were told. All I have to say to people who are claim to be pro-life, please keep them. They say no abortion, no matter what. Energy, even if I hope not, stuff happens so fast. Their young child or loved one may depend on it in the future. They won't do that stuff. It's just about the practice what you preach. It's concept for me. I don't know about you or anyone else though. Continue on. So give it time. Okay, good. I said, seeing as abortion was never a right to begin, never a right. Trying to compare being able to get one to actual civil rights does not work. Also, I will always fight against abortion and any other sin. That's what Christians are. That is what Christians are supposed to do. What's wrong? Yeah. Little time. Someone says, here comes, if you're against abortions, that is more than fine. I'm not saying that abortion is the most righteous thing a woman can do. It's not the least righteous thing a woman can do. I'm not trying to convince you that abortion is right or whatever. I'm not saying that abortion should be the first solution. In fact, I believe that everything else should be considered first hand. All I'm saying is that this may affect everyone despite gender, race, culture, sexual orientation, no matter how young or old anyone is. This can affect anybody. Here. As Christians, we are supposed to help them and not bash them. I don't know if you want to know that.